Aside the military profession, okay, I'm a strategist by training, and my doctorate is in peace, security, and intelligence studies. So I have lots of experience, and then I have lots of engagements on issues. All right. So in trying to engage these issues in my mind, it is driven by what can I do to make a difference. First, I'm a writer. So what can I do to make a difference? You know, is it just complaining about the issues, or I can knit these things, you know, into a story to still project this message, you get? So when that comes, I begin my writing. And while writing, what sustains me, I'm a solitary person. I like quiet time. So what I do, it's from all my experiences, I love music. When I play my kind of music, I get all the inspiration I need when I'm in my space.
Are you comfortable reading online? How good are you with digital literature? I mean, not that everything is digital, but I know many Nigerian authors are finding it not very easy to publish in hard copy. So there's a lot having to go online. So we've got an author in the studio who is has been a bestseller on Amazon. He's a creative writer. And also, he's a soldier, and he has a book coming out called Edge of the Sun.
Yeah.
And we want to just talk about this. You know, welcome, Squadron Leader Alexander Ochogwu.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Most welcome to Akweya TV.
My pleasure. Anytime.
So, what drove you into the digital world in terms of selling your creative writing?
Okay, I think first it has to do with my intention. When it has to do with the reach of the book. First, it was inspired by the message we're trying to pass across. The book, particularly then, it was Omo. Okay. I wrote a book, Omo, and the book was centered around the sordid realities young girls face around the world. We wanted to tell a story that will resonate, you know, with some of the key issues being addressed in the world at the time, on issues on gender-based violence, sex trafficking, and all of that. So we felt it was a global message. Yeah. So that was the first thing. And if you want to go global, you need to take advantage of technology. Yeah. So it means that your hard copies are not sufficient, or the traditional publishing mechanisms may not be sufficient. So we had to think outside the box. Yeah. What do? We need to go digital. If you want a wider reach, the best means is to go digital. And what we had to do was to strategize. Okay, who are our target audience? What are the strategies we can put in place? What kind of partnerships we can do in those target audiences? So for China, for example, for United States, we had to, you know, do our background work, know people that will be able to push our work, you know, from these areas. So we're able to make some contacts. So with these contacts, we got the right campaigns from those areas. So it was more like a partnership. So with all of this in place, we were pushing, and the landing page, of course, was Amazon. So, and everyone going there, they could access the book real time, they could purchase, and we're able to, we did lots of campaign before the launch. We did a book trailer. Then we also did, we did some pageantry competition, because we were looking at, it's not just about the book. There's something we want to project, and it was womanhood, you know. So we had to do a pageantry for the face of Omo, for example. We needed to give it a human face. People could relate. We did them campaigns where people had to write about successful women in their locality. So with all of this, we projected them online using different, you know, media to. So it was news. It was buzzing everywhere. So it was easy for people to want to. How do we get this book? How do we get this book? The simplest thing to do, you send a link, it takes them to the landing page, and they were going to, you know, purchase them. Then another thing we did was that we try to push the traffic towards time.
Okay.
So yeah, so we had
What does that mean?
the time. Yeah, I'll explain. Yeah.
Okay.
So we had a date.
Okay.
We had a date and period. We wanted the mass sales to happen. You get, so it was not just the single sales in trickles we did. So all these campaigns were geared towards a particular day or week these books will be available.
Yeah.
So people didn't just have access at the spot. We were referring them to a particular date and period. So which appeared more like a global launch of the book, and accessing it will be on the digital platform, which was Amazon. So in pushing all of this, we're able to get the response we got because people were now available to purchase the books real time.
Wow.
So and our strategy did work, and we made the kind of success we made.
10,000 copies?
Yeah, we did in one day.
In one day?
In one day, yes.
Wow.
Yes.
And then lifetime, how did it go?
Lifetime, no, the 10,000, it's both online and hard copies. Yeah, that we did 10,000. So for the life, we did a launching in Port Harcourt in 2018. And I just explained to you the message of the book. Yeah. The message was a girl child. Then we ran a campaign on it. That campaign was called Every Child Your Child. So we're able to project a consciousness on everyone. We had a partnership. We rode onto the, for example, then you had Sterling Bank running the one bank concept. And we now aligned it with Every Child Your Child. Oh. So we did a partnership with Sterling Bank. We had Daily Trust too. Okay. We also did a partnership. So it was about the message. We pushed the consciousness that this project is everybody's project. And if you're a part of it, you're solving a problem. Yeah. So that consciousness was what we sold, and it worked. Wow. And we got a lot of people, the River State government at the time, it was in Port Harcourt. We had women's societies, both Nigeria and globally, attending the launch. We had my organization, the Nigerian Air Force at the time, because we were projecting the whole concept of, supporting the women. So we had support from all this group because it was a global consciousness that we needed to push. So we wrote on this because we had a message in our book. Wow. Yes, in that particular book. And it was consciousness we sold. And
this is a boot camp that you should give to authors, because authors are always complaining that there's no readership. People don't read just books. They're reading, there's an emotional attachment.
Absolutely. Because first, whatever you're writing is within the framework of human existence. Yeah. Whether it is historical, whether it is futuristic, it is still within the framework of human existence. So most of the times, I do not write my book. I'm not driven by the theme to write my book. Okay. But when I'm done with my book, this is when I reflect on the themes. Because as I mentioned earlier, there is no story you're telling that is not within the framework of existence. There are definitely connections to humanity. So it is you now, the authors, writers must separate the art of writing and the business of writing. They are both essential skills for any author to be successful. You understand? So a lot of people have very great writers, but they are poor business conscious, so most times, not because I'm a better writer, but I write, I do my best to do the best I can, ensure that I go through the entire process to make a great work. But ultimately, what I would want to do when I'm done with my writing is to put in the right business strategies to sell. Now, this takes me back to when I wrote Omo in 2018, when I released Omo. So before I released that book, I did a lot of survey on the Nigerian, creative industry, how it operates. I did a research on the major traditional publishers, like then we had Parisha, we had Cassava Republic, we had a couple of them out there, So I did a lot of research, Parafina. So I was like, okay, what is their model like? Their business model in terms of sales. I was now like, okay, I wasn't impressed, So I was now like, okay, what can I do differently? What can I do differently? Because whatever I do, I make sure I do it excellently. So this is about...
You'll be strong to not have been impressed with the Cassava Republic
No,
press.
their sales, no, I wasn't. I wasn't. Yeah, because let me tell you why. It wasn't just about writing. For me, I was like, this could be a means of livelihood.
Yes.
And I couldn't really see the figures translate into livelihood for most of their authors. So yeah, some of the authors could have their regular jobs,
exactly.
but I've not seen all the proceeds from the book. And the rest, yes, I've not really seen. Maybe this is my own assessment. So for me, I wanted something tangible, you know, something tangible. So what I did was, I didn't want to do the whole traditional idea of you go to a bookstore. Of course, it's part of it. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to make sales. So how do we make sales? And sales, there is the knowledge of human behavior. If you understand behavioral sciences, how humans respond, you need to understand. So it's beyond being a good writer and all of that. So I thought about the psychology of human behavior and how we can influence it to be able to achieve our objective, you get. So what did I do? I play with consciousness. I play with people's consciousness a lot. So it's all part of emotional intelligence. So what we did was, okay, there's the saying that Nigerians don't like to read. So what do we do? So we came up with the concept that our marketing strategy, we're going to have here the books on the shelves, but maybe just 10% of the books. So what we're going to do is that we did a campaign on social media that people used our banner for their profile photos. Now, what did we do? For everyone who uses our banner, we projected that person's business on all our platforms. For example, you, Isu Media, if you use our banner, be sure that we're going to push your business globally. So when we did that, we had people begging to use our banner to associate with our project. So with this, these are all part of the strategy for consciousness. So when we did that, okay, we don't want people to go to the bookstores. When we started the campaign, we had a form. And that form we had was interest. We call it form of interest. It was digital form. If you're interested in the book, now I'm talking of hard copy sales now. If you're interested in the book, just indicate interest. It was not a pre-order sales. It was not a pre-order sales. And we know how human beings behave. So there's a lot of psychology we put into this. It wasn't just, you know, when you write as an author, you go to social media, you will see, congratulations, I like what you are doing. It doesn't translate to sales. No, we were not ready for that. So we understood all of this. So we had that form, interest form. So, and you know, even people who had money, who wouldn't have money, for the fact that they wanted sense of belonging, they filled the form. And we used every platform to do that. So when they did fill the form, we had our database. So we had our first line of direct contact, people were going to sell. So it's not random. So for that forms alone, we had over 8,000 people. And using certain principles, we were aware that at least 30% of those people are going to buy. So there's a lot of analysis, there's a lot of psychology, you know, influences we use to be able to shape that behavior. And we ensure that everyone who bought that book, I had to establish a secretariat. I employed then core members. They were working. So they were reaching out to each person and ensuring that each copy was autographed and delivered to the person anywhere in Nigeria.
All right. Okay. We'll come back because this is like, if you're an author watching this, this is the boot camp for you. And it's coming from a military man. You know, people wouldn't have believed that, oh, the military would do it, but he's bringing his expertise from that sector into this field. We'll be right back. Stay with us on Akweya TV. And please share this video if you're watching us online. And we'll be right back. Everyone trying to speak at the same time, background noise, feeding in from participants' microphones. This is terrible, isn't it? Workspaces and meeting settings might have changed, but well, this shift hasn't really affected the roles required to ensure maximum meeting productivity. As the case with in-person meetings, virtual meetings require roles to be designated for different individuals. Clear meeting roles make your meetings organized, interactive, and engaging. As the host of your virtual meeting, if you're going to be the lead and facilitator, it's important that you assign another person the role of a note taker to document key issues and actions, and then you can also assign someone with timekeeper, and if necessary, vibe watchers, someone who sees what people are doing. You will also need to assign the role of tech host to control sounds and be in charge of muting participants that may forget to do that. And if you have any other question, you can ask us, or if it's going to be an issue for you, then you can contact us to do all these things for you on a budget while you sit back and relax and enjoy a very seamless virtual meeting. Stay tuned for more comms, tips, and tricks from ISU Media. Don't forget to kindly follow us on all our social media platforms @to ISU Media and share our content to all your friends and professional colleagues in the area of comms. Welcome back, and thank you those of you who shared the video and liked the video. If you have comments for Squadron Leader Alexander Ochogwu, please don't hesitate to put them in the comments section. And you have a book launch, Edge of the Sun, coming. Before we talk about Edge of the Sun, the Diary of a Boy Soldier.
Yeah.
You're a boy soldier yourself.
Yeah.
Was that something from the NMS? The book.
Yeah, it's from NMS. So the book, it's about, we just told the story of every boy soldier in one person.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think what we did then was I observed that there were no really stories. We have shared stories, from the military school, a lot of escapades, a lot of stories. When we meet, we have associations where there's a lot we talk about. So I just thought about, okay, why not put all of this in a story? So what I did then was to do a lot of research. So because I knew that the story in our time will be different from the earlier people in 50s. I also knew that it was also different from the newer generations from our set. So what I did was I did a lot of engagement with the different levels. I went as far as, meeting late General Salu Ibrahim to get his own perspective, and several other people to get their perspective of their time. So what we did, we were able to sieve the data to identify common areas that cut across the different sets. Then we developed a fictional story from it. We built characters such that if you read the story, you can connect with it. You have something connected to that. And it was a fictional, so we made it easy. It was a flowing story of a young boy, who was living in Lagos from a polygamous home. And then he was inspired after he saw one NMS boy. Then he went to school. From school, his experiences, But beyond that, there was something we did. We wanted to leave a message for posterity, which was within the family framework and making right choices in life. So beyond just telling the NMS experience, we added a lot of things that, so the NMS experience was just a plot. It wasn't all about the story. The story is just about a young boy, when polygamous, dealing with home issues, went to a school, lost focus. At the end of the day, he was trying to find redemption, so that's the summary. So you will see at the end of the day, we told the story of NMS as a plot, but beyond that, it was a story everyone requires. Yeah. So that was what made it quite an attraction out there.
Do you think the life you lived in the NMS is still what's happening now in NMS? It seems a lot has changed.
Of course, naturally. It cuts across every area of life.
Yeah.
Everything has changed. There are newer information, there are newer knowledge, there are newer realities. For instance, now, I wouldn't send my son there.
Why?
Yeah, so, no. In our time, there were there were more, we were quite mature in minds in our time.
Time was more arduous and rigorous.
Yes.
And now it should be easier for your son. Why
Yes, it would have. But this is not just about enemies, it's about the world now. You know, if you compare your time, your resilience in your time, at your age then, today's child doesn't have that resilience. Do you agree to that?
Sure.
Yeah, so there are those changes, and we feel there are certain exposures that I feel if he should have now, he may not have the toughness to make the right decisions or choices for himself. Again, because of how the world is. They are more...
How we have brought them. Because there are also other children
yes.
facing our realities, the realities we face.
Yes.
You know, walking to school 10, 20.
Yes, brilliant, yeah.
But because we are better to do now,
yes,
we are not making our children do those things.
Yes.
So
we contribute to this now. Yeah, because I think these are another arguments. We have to look at that.
I always think about how, like, the times I came to do things in Abuja and
yes,
had to go to Zuba and stay by the roadside and enter vehicle at about 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Things that I wouldn't tell anybody, not even my child, to do now. But people are doing it till...
No, I'll tell why a lot has changed. Like, while I was 12, I would travel from Zaria to Lagos to see my parents. Then, so there are several factors that have contributed to this. You know, one, you talk of the issue of security on one hand. Then you also talk about the issue of social media. So there's been a lot of things happening, influences, you know, for children. Then the issue of safety, that's connecting to security now. So the issue of safety. So because of all of this, within this wider framework, you know, you try to be more careful as a parent, you know, not to, sometimes it's not because they don't have the toughness, but their vulnerabilities are higher now.
Okay. With such situation,
yeah,
what should we as parents do? I mean, yeah, we need more resilient children.
Yeah.
What should we do? Is it just to shield them? You know?
Yeah, that's a solid point. But the concern mostly, it's not centered on the family. There's a systemic issue right here now. You know, those days you could trek at night to go and buy a car, maybe 2 kilometers. But now there are issues of safety. Would you want to put your child to walk from here to Banex at night? Not because he's not resilient to do that, but would you want to take that risk?
Yeah, well, we had the issues of things like bomo and all those things in those days.
The intensity of that and today,
or is it that we reported it more loudly now?
No, I disagree.
I'm just.
The statistics are there; they are scientific. So,
you know, things that used to happen in those days where they weren't reported because they were either taken as it's one of those things.
Yeah.
Or look, we had our ways of dealing with it, so they weren't reported.
Yeah.
Now we've got social media, we've got so many things that even when things just happen, aside from reporting the incidents that would have been trivial in those days, there are even 10 mobile phones reporting the same incident. So your risk perception or your perception of the threat seems higher.
Yeah, I think, you have a solid point.
You've got a launch coming on Saturday.
Yes, please.
What are we expecting? Is it just speaking English? Are we expecting some poetry recitation, dance? What?
Now, if you know about me, I am always full package. Full package, yeah. And what we're doing is there are 3 things I've spelled out. We are going to educate, entertain, and elevate. These are our 3 captions for the launch of Edge of the Sun. And when we say educate, is for example, in that event we have a symposium. In that event, where we have our keynote speaker, Professor Kwaja, Chris Kwaja, you know, is the keynote speaker. Then we have discussants talking about intervention strategies for boy children in the 21st century.
Okay.
Yeah, which is drawn from the theme of the book.
Okay.
Because the book is centered around, violence, radicalization of young people into violent extremism. So we're looking at, we should bring a whole society approach to this thing. So that's why we have like a vast policy and security expert at Squadron to deliver that keynote.
Yeah.
We now have someone from the mental health sector. We have Dr. Aisha Asmau, the director of Federal Medical Psychiatry Center.
Yeah.
Then we have Dr. Joseph Ochogwu, somebody with that experience at the policy level. We now have Dr. Jobi, a clinical psychologist who has vast experience on boots on ground, dealing with people in prisons and all of that. So, so we're bringing you to discuss on this subject just within 30 minutes.
Whoa.
So this is educating.
Yeah.
So then entertainment, of course. I'm a fun man.
Yeah.
So we have, and we're not just doing entertainment random, we're paying big for, we're bringing artists that are like spoken word poets that are established.
Yeah.
You understand? So we're bringing them for this event to perform this entertainment. Serenade. Diana?
Okay.
Go and check out Diana. She's fire. We have Hita. She's coincidentally, she's a naval officer.
Okay.
Excellent. Hita, she's published by Swedish book Savage. Yeah, so we have that. We also have dance performances. We have drama presentations. We also have the Elite Nigerian Army Guards Brigade Band displaying on that day.
Wow.
So we also have music to serenade, I guess. So and then for Elevate, we're providing platforms for networking.
Okay.
We're providing platforms because we're bringing different stakeholders, like I said, from the British Embassy, from the military community, literary community. The ANA president is coming. Danger, the former ANA president, Dr. Akambi. We just concluded today. He's coming live. We have people from Abuja Literary Society. They are the board of trustees. We have people from the Chevening community. We have people from my family and friends community. So we have people from the government. We have former Senate President Ahmed Lawan coming. We have Senate President Benga Daniels. Senator Benga Daniels, and a host of other people. We have Senator Neda coming. So we have policymakers coming. So we have like a full house. So this is a platform for people to network. For even not just people now, even for industries to network, like the literary community to network, So it's I call it a show, a show, So there's going to be a whole lot. Then there's a lot to eat and drink. There's cocktails, mocktails.
That's important.
There's rice, there's rice. There's everything, that will make a beautiful event.
Okay. We look forward to be there. Akweya TV is going to be there.
Yeah, sure. So, we look forward.
Thank you so much for bringing yourself to the studio. But before we go, what's generally your inspiration? How do you write?
Okay.
Especially with military work and all of that. What inspires you? What drives you?
Okay. Yeah. Aside the military profession, I'm a strategist by training, and my doctorate is in peace, security, and intelligence studies. So I have lots of experience, and then I have lots of engagements on issues. All right. So in trying to engage these issues in my mind, it is driven by what can I do to make a difference. First, I'm a writer. So what can I do to make a difference? Is it just complaining about the issues, or I can knit these things, into a story to still project this message you get? So when that comes, I begin my writing. And while writing, what sustains me, I'm a solitary person. I like quiet time. So what I do, it's from all my experiences, I love music. When I play my kind of music, I get all the inspiration I need. When I'm in my space, I get the inspiration I need. And when I engage with people, it gives me that human dimension to how people behave. And I have a training in emotional intelligence. So somehow I'm very curious. I want to build characters with some crazy mindset, but within the framework of reasonable human behaviors, So I put all of these things together, and for me, I get the right inspiration from all of these engagements. Then I love to travel. Road trip, I get all the inspiration I need. So
That's
So,
great.
yes.
Thank you so much for coming. You're most
Thank
welcome.
you so much.
All
Thank
right.
you so
Look
much.
forward to seeing you on Saturday.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thank you for being with us. I look forward to seeing you on Saturday at the NAF Conference Center, where The Edge of the Sun by Squadron Leader Dr. Alexander Ochogwu is going to be launched. So see you there. I'll be there, and I look forward to seeing you there.